Okay, well, I'd just like to say I want to applaud everyone for being able to get to where we're at now today. We're in our demo day. This is the very last thing we have to get done over the course of this semester. And so let me just run through some basic announcements. And then really, this is a day for all of you to be able to demo out what you've been able to learn and put into practice in designing your own full stack application. Okay, so let me go through here. So first, some general announcements. I'll do some basic introductions. I'll have some talk a little bit about the course comments stuff that I use your survey information to improve my course. And then I'll give some basic rules on what you should expect on how to demo. And then we'll talk about demos and comments. And then we'll talk about our follow-up discussion. And then finally, schedule of teams going up. So I just want to say again that like this has been a great semester. Oops. And that I'm really proud of everyone who's been a part of this class. I realize that the workload for this class it's a lot, right? Like there's a lot of material that goes into building a full stack application. And a lot of times you don't get any exposure in any of this until this class. So because of that, there's a lot of work that goes into this. And I'm just proud of everyone who invested the time to be able to get to a point where you could build out your own full stack application and be able to code on the client side, and the back end, the server side, and then on your data persistence, your data end layer. And so I just want to remind everyone up to this point, please go to my Google survey and give me some feedback, because that's how I go ahead and improve this class semester after semester. And if you want to stay a part of the Discord, that's awesome. You should do that. You can see in future demo days what latter classes are doing, and everyone who's been a part of the Discord will be promoted to the alumni role after today, because you would have successfully completed the course. Okay, some basic concepts on how to demo. We've talked about this before, but just as reminders, we'll have one team member who will share their screen while all the members talk. You want to introduce your team members. You want to pitch the idea of your app, like what does it do? What problem does it solve? You want to walk through all the features you have implemented, narrate what is happening for each user story, such as registering or logging in, and then talk about interesting technologies you used or obstacles you had to overcome. You don't have to show code. Think of this more as a pitch to investors. You're trying to sell your app to the class. And then in terms of the demos and comments, during demos, all other students should use the Zoom chat to ask questions. These questions will not be addressed during the presentation because we have so little time. We're expecting between, I think we said 5 to about 7 minutes per presentation. So after all teams have presented, we will use the remaining time to go through the chat comments and have an open forum discussion about what the projects we saw are. Also, I'm going to open up the channels inside of Discord. And what I want each person to do is go into the channel for each team and provide feedback. So again, the feedback is designed in a way to go ahead and allow each team to be able to improve their project in the future, so that they know how to get it ready for being their crowning jewel of their portfolio. And in terms of follow-up discussion, the final part is the feedback. The things you'd want to consider are like, what did you think of the app idea? What are your ideas on the UX? How might you improve on what was pitched, or what features would you want to include that are not already in there? And you can also, I usually like to, whenever you do any kind of critique, I like to break it down into glows and grows. So glows are the things that you found to be very positive, and grows are the things that you think can be improved. Excellent. So in fact, let me go ahead and once I transfer over to the presentations, I'll go ahead and open up those channels so people can leave comments so they become public. But this is going to be our schedule of presentees. So we're going to start with one time, and then everyone, this has been released previously, so everyone should know when they follow. So I should already have it set up so that you can share your screen. So I will allow one time to go ahead and share their screen so they can do their demo. And before we do that, is there any questions up to this point?
Oh, yes. Did you have, sorry, I'm late, so I missed how we give feedback. Is this slide deck public so we could view it, so I could review that?
Yeah, so let me see here. Let me go ahead and I can share that actually. So let me go, I can share this. Copy link.
Yeah, just a read-only
slide. And let me go into the, okay, let me go into the chat here so that that's shared with everybody. And what I'm going to do is, if you're a part of the Discord, so you can just, in terms of your comments, you can open up the chat channel on Zoom and give feedback that way. Also inside the Discord, I'm about to unlock all of the private team channels, and you can offer up any feedback inside their channel. That'd be a more persistent way than using Zoom to do that. That way, after even the session is done, they can go back and do that. And I'm about to do that myself once I transfer control over to one time. Back, let me see here. I can see, you can see here inside the Discord channel, there's a lot of teams. Actually, I'm going to toggle them all to become, let's see here, edit channel. I'm going to toggle them all to become permissions, to become public channels, effectively just like that. So for instance, you should be able to now see, everyone should now be able to see whichever team I just toggled to be public, that was the Nico channel. So I'm going to do that during the course of these presentations. Excellent. Okay, are we ready?
One last question. I'm sorry for delay.
no.
Is there feedback we should be focusing on? Are we focusing on UI design? Is it more the idea? Is it more on how it's like coded, or is it on how good, like, viable the idea is?
So,
I'm sorry, I don't have much context.
No, yeah, that's both those, like any concept that you think is valuable feedback to the group. So it could be about viability of their actual idea. It could be based off of their the user experience and the UI design that they have. It could be whether the feature set is too limited, or whether I mean, there's not going to be a big illustration of source code here. So this is more like a pitch to investors. So give your feedback, I guess, according to those concepts. But if you see something, if they end up talking about any of the technologies they use, you can definitely offer insights towards that as well.
Awesome. Okay,
so
perfect.
Any feedback that you think would make this project, their project, better, really as a portfolio project, to be able to like show it off to prospective employers.
Okay, I'll take that perspective. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so do we have one time currently? Yeah.
Professor.
Yes,
it seems
indeed.
like we can't
Yes.
access the Google Doc.
Oh, the one that is shared?
Yeah, we can't access it.
Okay, let me see. Change to anyone. Okay, let me do this. Anyone with link, copy link. Okay, try it now.
All right, welcome, my fellow friends, privateers, brothers and sisters. Welcome to our one-time presentation. This is a group project between myself, Jamel Cedar, and my friends Numan and Hirudin. Now, our project, this one-time project, deals with time. One thing that we really have to maintain is time management. We have to ensure that all the things that we do is scheduled accordingly. And one great aspect that we have is we have audits that we can go about in our class. And in order to schedule these audits, it's currently a manual process. And we were thinking with our project, we can automate it. Now, in order to do this, we needed to utilize a full stack development that includes front end, that includes back end, and a database. And this database has to be persistent. So for front end, we have these HTML documents. For example, as you can tell right here, an audit schedule. And before I begin, we're trying to get some funding. So if any of you can provide some funding, find a good way of supporting our task, helping us finish. Oh man, that would be wonderful. We'd be automating it, supporting UNO. These are good deeds on top of good deeds. So our audit scheduler uses this form. This form, what does it do? As you can tell, it has a name, it has a Discord username, it has a date, time, and an audit type. Now, if I want to, for instance, put my name, put my group name, and we want to schedule an audit with the professor, Professor Ted. Now, we have our Discord username. We'll just put our group name, one time group. Okay. And we found a wonderful date time object here that actually has the date and the time all in one. It's a very nice project. Now we put the time and we put the date and then we put the audit type. So this is going to be final project. And now let's move this over here. Now we want to schedule this request. When we schedule this request as a full stack application, where do we want it to go? We want it to go to the database. So when we press schedule, oh, look at that. There's a schedule request submitted. We actually got some feedback from our database and it shows true that it actually got inserted and it shows what got inserted. This is the document that got inserted into the database. Now, that's wonderful. This solves part of the problem, maybe about half the problem. Now, our goal is to schedule an audit. When we schedule this audit, we have to ensure that it's in the database. So let's go to results. We put it here so that we can display our database and be able to show it to y'all. Now, let me go ahead and press read all. And this shows right here, all the schedules. And would you look at that? It actually has that schedule that we just put. Now, what if we want to update our time? We put the ID here, we put the name. All right. We'll put a different Discord and we'll put a different time. Now let's say we want to do it next week. Final project. And then when we update it, it says that it modified one. And let's read all. Look here, the date actually changed. So here we have database persistence. We have a front end that sends it to the back end, and this back end takes it and actually puts it onto the database and retrieves our information for us. So that's about how clear our concept looks. So we're asking for funding for what? We want to continue this. We want to be able to make a calendar, and this is right here. It's a clear concept, like a proof of concept. It shows the day, and we want to be able to put people's schedules on this calendar. With your funding, we can continue this. We can find a good way of actually supporting this. And on top of that, we can have login authentication. All of these things can be added into it. We just need your help. This is our audit scheduler. Me, Numan, and Hyro. Y'all are welcome to give us good feedback, ways to improve this. We try to keep it simple, yet classy. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And I hope we can secure funding to continue this. I don't know how we'd get through without the funding, but we got this. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for showing this off. So in terms of feedback, probably the preferable place to go would be inside of Discord. Let me share my screen now. Share my own screen. So if you were to go to the Discord server, you'll see that in team channels, they should all be public. So you should be able to go into one team and be able to go ahead and leave any feedback that you have for this team on how to go ahead and improve their project right into there. So that said, let's move right on to the next team, which would be, not there. I completely lost where my Zoom message is at. Okay, but I'll go stop sharing. I'll let the next team be able to take over, which is, there we go.
I'm
Perfect.
actually pretty laggy right now. This bar is in the way. Can you guys see this bar up top?
Is it?
No, it doesn't
No, we
show.
don't see
Yeah,
anything.
we did. Wait, what?
Okay. All right. So off the bat, like if we go to our homepage, this is what you see. I'm actually like super laggy.
Gosh.
Between categories. And it will display basically all the products that belong to their respective categories, the image, description, price. There's an add to cart button. Currently I'm not logged in. So if I go to add to cart, it's going to prompt me for a login. If I actually go and try and log in, I'm going to reference one of the accounts that I know doesn't work, like the password. It does prompt you. So if we just like type a random, it does tell you that the account doesn't exist. And if you just try to log in with blank credentials, so there's error handling. The next feature, this would be something that our teammate Andy worked on.
Yeah.
I forgot to say this, but our team was myself, David, Andy, and then Lisa. Okay. So I'm gonna actually register a new account off the bat. There isn't much type checking currently.
Yeah.
So this is something that we planned on getting to, but we wanted to kind of establish like a proof of concept. So I just made it a new account. I'm about to log into it. So just to demonstrate that we do actually create counts and have them get registered. So now I have an empty checkout box. I'm into a default account. One of the features that we'd like to implement that we haven't really got to would be like user profiles themselves. Currently, we're using this user profile to access the administrator privileges. And so I just created a new account. It doesn't actually have any administrator privileges. So if I try to access it, it is route protected. It's not going to let me access these pages. But I can still go ahead and add to cart and put whatever I want in there. And we'll see that it actually does reflect those changes and I can remove things. Okay, so since we're still logged into a regular user, I'm going to actually step through the PayPal process. So you can go through PayPal. And if you're familiar with PayPal, you know that they allow you to have different options, different methods to pay. So you could actually use your debit or credit card. And we could see that the price does actually carry over. So this is on PayPal's website. It does actually carry over the price, but what I'm going to do is I have an account I can use to actually make this purchase. So I'm going to actually go through and make this purchase real quick. Okay. And so we can see that my name is John Doe. That's my PayPal account. We see the balance and I'm just going to go ahead and I mean, you got all these options. I could select any of these if I'd like, sort of out of our hands at this point. So I actually make the payment and I can see that our website does know, okay, the was completed. Here's the ID. And if we look at the console log, we do actually get the results of that transaction. So it'll tell you basically everything you need about that transaction. It'll tell you the price. It'll tell you that it's completed. What we haven't done was actually handle these results. In this situation, it would make sense to like say, take these results from the shopping cart, putting on the user profile, but we did not get that far. So, but a proof of concept is here. It'd be rather trivial to actually have this function implemented, right? So that's one thing I wanted to demonstrate. What I'm going to do now actually is restart the server because I can't log out unless I restart it. So we need a logout button as well. It's another thing. But if I refresh this, I'm going to log into my administrator account. That way I can demonstrate some of the dynamic modifications of these products. So one of the coolest things is we can actually modify our categories. Let's say if I wanted to put the crossbow in front of the longbow, I'll save that. I'll go back to the home and we can see now that the crossbow is in front of the longbow. I'm going to go ahead and delete one of these. Check and see that it's still there. Okay, great. Wonderful. I'm going to add a bunch of things to this cart. I have like longbow, katana, greatsword. I'm going to get rid of the katana using the administrator privileges. Actually, I'm going to get rid of the whole category for swords. Okay, so there's 2 products in this. I'm going to go ahead and delete this whole category. Whoops, wrong one. And so now you see like I deleted that whole category. We go back, it no longer exists. And so no longer do we have the products in our checkout. Actually looks like if I go and remove the actual longbow, no longer contains it in our checkout. So we can also create new categories and also create new products. So what I'm going to do to start off with is I'm going to go into products and I'm going to actually just create a new one, random product. And we're going to type a price. We'll make it 100. And currently the upload image doesn't actually work. We can browse our local directory and stuff, but we can't actually send the image that we select to the server and have that rendered. So once again, this is like a good generic proof of concept. We can add products. This still needs to be implemented further for like type checking and stuff. Like I could type strings in this if I want, it'll error out. But we can go ahead and create new products, and we see if we go into the home page, we can actually see that it did create that new product. I'm going to go ahead and create a new category as well. We'll name it new category or something. We'll save that decision. And if I go to the home page, we see that that new category is there. I mean, there's nothing in it, so we can go ahead and populate that. I'm just going to randomly fill in some stuff here. And then we see that it actually does populate that. So
And you can
that's
also, wait, you
essentially-
can also edit the products too.
Yeah.
That's correct. Whoops. So we can actually go in and go to this and edit it. And it says random product edited. We'll change the price to 105 and we'll save that. And then images conflict. Okay. And then
Not seeing that.
see that it actually edited. It's pulling the wrong image, but once we get that functionality implemented where it actually, you know, ties an image to the browser thing there, it should be fixed. So, you know, this is like not a finished product. Obviously, it's not ready for production, but you could see fundamentally like how it works. The whole goal here was to just kind of create an e-commerce store that we can dynamically add products to, that a person could go to and then check out and send the money to whatever business account you want it to send to. And ultimately that was like the baseline goal. But in the future, it would also make sense that let's say that we have products on here and we're selling a bunch of products, but let's say that we want to also have it maybe on like Amazon, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. Like it would be possible to like interface with those APIs and actually port these products that we generate using our interface here to those websites. That way we aren't limited to, you know, oh, you need to come to our website. We also have all the traffic from these big markets. So that was like the initial goal. It's a lot of work in order to post multiple products on these big marketplaces. And then not only that, you need to maintain them. You know, let's say someone actually does purchase something, you need to go to each and every website to handle all these things. So the goal really is kind of like aggregating all that stuff and putting it in one beautiful full stack application. And so that was the main proposition of that pretty much concludes what we have established in like the end goal for this project. I will say that, you know, we spent a large amount of time like working on the architecture of this. Like this is very cleanly implemented in the backend. You know, we also took advantage of GitHub repositories and their issues. I believe another team did that, and we, you know, borrowed that idea and found like tremendous success when actually merging together our different branches and stuff. Like the conflicts were way easier to handle, and like from a team management perspective, like it made a whole world of difference. So, and another thing is like when working on this, there's like adding to cart, like changing products. I mean, there's so many different re-renderings that need to be triggered at the correct times. And like sometimes we're rendering the whole page when we really didn't need to. We only need to re-render one thing. Like I think React in this project particularly would have been like extremely useful, because then we could modify what we needed to modify and it would, you know, re-render that one thing, and we wouldn't have to worry about like making sure everything was rendering at the proper times. So a lot of time was also spent on just like that. And that's sort of the issues we faced doing this.
It looks great. And again, everyone should leave feedback for Vibing Spring inside of the Discord server. There should be a channel dedicated for them there where you can provide the feedback there. Thank you so much. This has been an awesome presentation. I think the next team that we have up is Team Ivan. Let's see, Team Ivan, do we have? Okay, let's move on to then Team Nico.
All right, so you want me to talk, Jared? You ready?
Yes.
All right. So essentially what we have here is a social media platform that we set up for people who play video games. I didn't want to say gamers, the term aggravates me. But this is where you set up a video game portfolio for games that you played and rate them out of 5 stars, give them a quick review, and you will basically have a portfolio of every game that you played that your friends can also see, because you have a home feed where you get to see what your friends played and what they thought of that game. So Jared will walk you through the login process, and I'll be back for the UI flow.
Okay, so this is the login screen. So we're going to create an account. So I'm just going to do user@email.com. And for the password, I'm just going to use password. And create account. So then I'll say that the account's been created. So now in the log, when you go to login and use the same username and password, use it at email. But let's just say you forgot your password or you enter the wrong password. So I'm gonna put password 1. You click password 1. When you click login, it'll say invalid password. But now we're gonna do the right email password. Click login. You'll get login success. Visit localhost at login home at HTML. So maybe copy this. Paste it. Now bring it to the home screen.
All right, so we have here on the home screen is some top rated games, the friends activity as we scroll down. And at the very end of the home screen, we have suggested games, but we don't know algorithms yet to get that fully functional at the bottom. But yeah, this is eventually what you will see, cards of your friends who rated the video games, and you will get to share your thoughts with them. So if we also, of course, implemented an API for us to look for the games that we would like to rate. So if we go ahead and click search and look up something like Crash Bandicoot, then we would get a bunch of Crash Bandicoot games that have been released in the past. So if we go click on the first one, for example, click on the title, it would take us to a game page that shows us all the information about the game itself. So it gives us the platform, genres, themes, developers, publishers, and the game and the date it was released. You can also go to Giant Bomb, which is the website that we took the API from in order for us to get the game info, of course. And you can get an overview of the game over here in more detail, but I think our website is better, so we'll go back to it anyway. So here we get to rate it out of 5 stars. 5 stars because it's a great game, and we can write a pretty quick review about it. So we can submit the review, and it'll add it to our profile. I sure did too. And now this is the user's profile. And if we scroll at the bottom, we see the review here, and along other reviews that this user have made already, I guess. Anywho, so now if we go back to the home screen, that's really about it. It's just so you can set up a personal portfolio for the video games that you have played. And if you look at the top right, there's settings and there's messages, but that's only there to trick you because we did not really do these yet. And that's when Chris is gonna come in and tell us about the future of this website and what we intend to do with it potentially.
So this is the home page of it, where you can see basically all your friends' activities, the top rated games, and all that. So where it says top rated games, what we like to have implemented in future, because you're not gonna have only 5 games that's like the best top rated. So we're gonna have to implement a carousel version of it. So we're just gonna keep scrolling through multiple different versions of it. On the sides, we have it empty for a reason, because most websites nowadays, you're not gonna have just the website itself. You're gonna have some sort of advertisement that's gonna help fund our site. So we're gonna have those advertisements on the sides right there to help us fund it. If you guys like to help donate towards that cost as well, that'd be amazing. Within the profile page, if you can go to the profile, you can see that there's a message button where we can message other players or other people online. We like to implement like a friends list or something, like a chat messaging thing. We're gonna have a pop-up window somewhere on the screen, or maybe have another whole web page for a message, but I think a pop-up window would be much better, where we can essentially allow you to just message other person, talk about whatever games you want to do, or just set up a game lobby or something, play your favorite games. I think that's about. We also like to implement more about the profile, like maybe allow you to change your profile picture that we haven't implemented yet, but that will be done in the future.
and a light mode. We started in dark mode because it's superior.
Excellent. This is
We'll put a light mode.
Excellent project and demonstration. Again, you can go ahead and provide all your feedback into the team channel of that's Team Nico. And so our next team that we're going to have is going to be Man H, Mon.
Yeah, that's me. That's my middle name is Man.
Perfect.
All right. So you see my message? I asked if it's okay if I play music for the for my demo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Just I'm glad you gave an alert to everybody so that they can adjust their volume as necessary.
Yeah. Okay, so can you guys see this? How do I? All right, I'm just gonna assume everyone can see it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can
How do
see
I
it.
open the chat? Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go. Okay, so to start with my demo, I made a better YouTube shuffle player, because if you aren't aware, if you ever tried using YouTube's like in-house playlist, it's often slow and it doesn't function properly, where it'll just like stop shuffling at some point. And I want to give the rationale for like why that happens, or I want to give the reason why that happens. So I'm going to be going through the like a visual process of looking at YouTube's recommended like algorithm. So if I click on a song right here, it'll go here, and then I can go to the YouTube recommended at the top is going to say up next for the autoplay is going to be another song from Kanye or Kids See Ghosts, and then another one will be for Denzel Curry, and then the next one will be for another song, and then another song. Like, and all of these songs are related to things that I've seen in the past, or like that I've looked up in the past, right? Everything I've liked in the past. So eventually, well, there will be a point like when you go to the playlist. So if I click shuffle play. All right, yeah, this is what I mean by the playlist, like doing shuffle play is slow. So it'll go here, it'll keep going through songs. And then I don't know if I'll be able to display it, but eventually the algorithm will go into my playlist and say that, so let's say we're going to song 1, and then we go to song 2, and then we go to song 3, and then we go to song 4, and then it says, well, song 1 is it's a video that you've viewed a lot in the past and you've liked it, and so it's gonna say, okay, well, I guess we'll recommend you 1 again, if this makes sense. So it'll basically loop back to 1, and then it might put a song number 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it'll go back to 1. So oftentimes, if you have a big playlist like mine, my playlist has 850 songs. It'll just start looping back to the same song over and over. So the playlist doesn't work properly. So my application is it'll take the playlist, and then it'll give you a new player that'll give you a truly shuffled playlist. So for this, all you need to do is get the playlist ID. Like, you can either do the playlist URL or the playlist ID here, and you can see the well, I'll show that in a second. But you could also, like, if I click on this, you'll see that hold on, I gotta pause it. It doesn't load properly. There we go. So this is the video ID. And then if YouTube knows you're in a playlist, it'll also have the list ID right here. And so you could take this list ID also and then put it into the shuffle player, and it'll give you this. It'll also give you the playlist you're looking for. And so I'll just delete that. So for my website, yeah. So you input a playlist URL or a playlist ID, and then it will give you back this in an unordered list. And then you can either play it from how it's like normally organized, or you can shuffle play it. So I'll click shuffle play, and it uses at first the shuffle play on my app uses a lot of memory, but after that it stabilizes, and it's like it performs a lot better than the actual YouTube playlist. Like, as you can see that, okay. So we have the player right here. It uses the YouTube iframe API. And then, so, okay, yeah. We have the previous button and then the next button. So we can go to the next song like automatically, or if when we reach the end of the song, it's going to go to the next one. And you'll see right here that this is the number of songs, and it's also the current, the ID of the current song, or the value of the current song. So as you can see, it's properly shuffled, and it loads fast. And you can keep going along. And that's pretty much my app. There we go.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Cool project. Again, everyone go ahead and give their feedback on this project and on Discord and on the team channel. And then I think our next team is Eric, correct? Let's see. Oh, you're having some issues with your mic? Okay, we'll move on. Let me know if you get those issues corrected. We'll just move on to the next team then, which is, let me see here. It's going to be Just Chat. And then you fill me in, Eric, if your microphone starts working properly. So we'll just move on to Just Chat. Excellent. Now I see a screen share, but I don't hear anything yet. So just make sure you're unmuted.
Okay, so it seems like his microphone isn't working, so I'll just talk for him, I guess. Okay, I don't know if you hear me, but just open up the app, please.
I can hear you. We can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, so this is our app. It's called Just Chat, of course. So the purpose of it is just to give people a service where they can message each other. See, look at it as like, you know, lots of apps out there already, like kind of like Messenger, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. So what we're doing here is having people be able to join like groups, and they can like, and when they leave a group and join a group, everyone will be notified and everyone will know. Only problem is that we couldn't really get our server to work correctly. So right now we're just manually switching between two users. It will work by submission, I promise. But as of now, that doesn't work, but everything else should be working. So what you be brought to after login is you'll be brought to a page like this, and I'll show you the users. So this is kind of like a pseudo presentation, I guess you can look at. So he's gonna go ahead and just you know, type like whatever he likes, and just you can kind of see how it works here. So just type anything like hello. Yeah. You gotta switch the thing to the left. Yeah, so as you can see, it works. It's just that it doesn't work with the server. So there's not really much to show, except that the app itself does work, but we just need to get to work with the server. In our actual, like, what was it? We have a version where like you're able to log in, you make your name, you make your accounts, you have like a UI to use. It's just that was kind of ruins because last night we really couldn't get to work with this. But yeah, thank you.
Excellent. So this is a let's see, the team just chat. And so it sounds like you had some issues. Were you implementing this through WebSockets, just out of curiosity?
Yes.
Yeah, and so were you having issues with your WebSocket server?
Yeah, it just wouldn't work. It refused to work no matter what I did.
Excellent. Okay. It looks like Eric's mic is now working, so we'll move on to Team Eric, but you can go ahead and leave any feedback for just chat inside of their team channel. And then we'll move on to Team Eric.
All right, is my mic actually working this time?
Yes,
I can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you.
Perfect.
Good.
Let me pull this. All right. All right. So my application. Oh, let me close some things. So what I was trying to achieve is kind of a social media type thing, but more so just in the sense to just be able to tell a story or something. Because like a lot of social media these days, they're just the same information you find on other social media. It's just people like arguing and such. So I wanted one where it's just like a bunch of original content and stuff people can just have or can be passionate talking about. All right, so this is the home page. Right now, it doesn't really recommend the new pages to the user. It just has like the top ones. That's something I need to implement. But yeah, it gives kind of a description, like the first lines of each post, the title. If you hit read more, it takes you to the story page. It'll show you the user it's written by, which you can click on and go to the user. You can give it a like, a dislike. That isn't fully saved yet. And you can also leave a comment. So from here, you can go check out someone's user page and it'll like list all the stories and comments they've made. So that'll just take you like right back there. So if we go back to the home, I will just log into an account I made for myself, just so I can kind of show, but actually first I should show the register. So you can register right here. You can just make something called new user, you@me.com. I think I already have one as that. And we'll just do password. All right, it'll register. I'll take you to the login screen. You can put that in. Right. Right, and then now you're logged in. Now instead at the top of saying login, it says view profile, and you can view your own profile and then show you like all those same things. But you can also write your own story. When you write a story, you just give it like a title. So example title, and then example story, and then you'll post it. Then it should send you to the post that you just created, and then you'll also see it on the home page. And I think the main other thing I implemented was there's a search algorithm. You can like type in the name of a story, it'll pull it up. We can do the one I just created as well. And yeah, I think those are the main things. It catches like, you can't use an email or username that's already been used if you do a wrong password. I didn't really show much of that. I kind of forgot about it, but yeah, those are, I think, the main things.
Excellent. This looks great. Great presentation. Again, everyone should leave their comments here. This is under Team Eric. And I think the next team we'll have will be the Azores.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
All right, let me start by
Are you
sharing
going
my
to share your
screen.
screen? Perfect.
Yes. Okay. So can you guys see my screen right now? My presentation?
I can see.
Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to the demo day. I'm Wilbur Acharya, and today I'll be presenting on behalf of our team. We have Asis and Ayus. Together we are the Asuras. We are going to talk about the full stack application we made, and the full stack application we made was a restaurant server helper, or as we like to call it, simply RESPER. So for the motivation of our project, I'd like to start off by asking quick questions about your restaurant experience. When you're at a restaurant, have you ever been in a situation where you wish the bill to come sooner, or have you ever wanted to request a service to the server, but you don't see the server around and keep on waiting for a long time? And we actually asked these questions to the students of UNO, and the majority of answers were an astounding yes. So here's a picture of the responses breakdown we got from the students. As a result of the responses and adding up to our personal experiences, we thought that it would be a good idea to make a full stack web application for the restaurant to operate more effectively. Our web app is intended to be a full-fledged restaurant management application where the clients would be able to make simple requests like asking for a service, asking for a bill, or an even rate and provide feedback. Similarly, the servers could also use it for check-in and check-out. The admin can add servers, and instead of me just keep on speaking more and more, for better understanding of the features, let's now move on to the actual demo. I'm going to share my screen again. So guys, just bear with me. So can you guys see my screen again?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So for the first page, it's a sign-in page. Starting off, we have the sign-in page for the admin. This would be a global sign-in page that different restaurants can use to log in and access the features of the application. Each restaurant would register their restaurant with a register button. And we have email, full name, restaurant name, password that any restaurant can actually put in and register. To save some time, I'm just gonna sign in with an existing account. Admin, very secure password. So here we come to the server page. Once the admin has created the account, we can use the add new server option right here to add any new servers. For example, I'll create IUSE1234, username IUSE555, password, and if I click add server, you see how it pops out successfully added a new server, and we can see that IUSE1234 is there as one of our server. And if we want to delete it, we can actually just press on this button and it just gets deleted like that. It does not exist anymore. And we also have a search feature on our service page where we can actually type in, let's say Ronaldo, for instance. Okay, we have two Ronaldo. We have the Portuguese Ronaldo and we have the Brazilian Ronaldo. If you're not familiar with football, they are one of the greatest players of all time in football. So let me first move on to Cristiano Ronaldo, and if we click on him, we can see that we can see different information about him. For instance, we have hours worked this week. We have the password that we set up. It's GOAT, obviously, and then we also have different timestamps that show us that when he logged in and when he logged out. And apart from that, moving on, we move on to restaurant information. So at first, we see that we have a restaurant ID. This is an ID generated randomly once you create your registration page on the very start. So we also have the restaurant name. Our restaurant's named Ted's Smokehouse. I don't know if Ted's gonna like that, but we could actually change that as well if we intend to. So we can actually change this to Ted's Smokehouse, New Orleans, for instance. Oops, I don't know how to type. And we can see that Ted's Smokehouse is doing all good with 35 number of tables. We can actually change that as well if we really want to. But I guess I want Ted to do business real good, so I'll leave it as it is. Then we have the view feedback. So feedbacks, here we have a feedback section where we can see the feedback sent by the customers actually. On top of that, we also have an average rating provided by the customers. And if we want, we can actually see all the ratings. We have this nice rows per page column as well, where we can actually see all the ratings, or maybe we just want to see 5 ratings. We could do that as well. And if I click on one of the rating, we can see the full rating and also the timestamp, like when this rating was given. First feedback is I was there last week and the food was amazing. The server was top notch. Sarma, you gave the best customer service and so on. So it looks like Ted's Smokehouse is doing a really good job based on the ratings we have. So with that, we have the feedback section. And if you feel like if you wanna feel real better and delete all the bad ratings that you get, you can actually do that. So let's say I've been to better places. I really don't want to see this. Let me just delete this, and it's just like that. It doesn't exist anymore. So now let's move on to the server login. So we have the next we have the server login page for the server. So here we have a QR code generated automatically, which could be actually put in the restaurant, and the servers could quickly scan the QR code and log in and check in and check out. Right now, I'm just going to manually go to the website. So let me go to the website real fast. And again, we see the similar sign-in page. And since we have already created Cristiano Ronaldo as one of our servers, let me log in with his username, which is CR7. And the passwords obviously is the greatest of all time, 08T. Right, so here we come to the server side of the things. So we can see that here's just a simple hi Cristiano Ronaldo. We have implemented a check-in and check-out. So I forgot to check out Ronaldo last time, so it looks like he's still working, but I can actually click on check out, and just like that, I'm checked out, and the data is transferred to the admin page, and the admin can actually see that, okay, Ronaldo worked for this amount of hours and so on. We also have add table where basically you can add all the tables you're assigned for the day. Yeah, maybe I'm assigned 5 tables for a certain time, then you can just add the table and from the table list. We can also see that there are different tables that the server is assigned to, and here we can see the requests made by each table. For example, table 2 is ordering food, table 1 wants the bill, table 3 wants to call the server. Right now, the tables feature is not implemented because we were a little bit short on time, but this is a future development that we really want to do it as well. But for now, we have the check-in feature, checkout feature done, and we can also log out. Moving on, next we have the customer page. So it's the very similar setup. We have a QR code the customer can scan in, but now we're just going to go there manually. I'm just going to go there, and this is what it would look like for the customer. So the idea about this page is not to make it a web app, but rather some kind of make it something that can work easily on the mobile phones, because what we think is that people are not going to go type in the website when they're going on restaurant. They'll just scan, and this is more intended to be a mobile friendly kind of front end, if you will. So the customers again have the same 3 options. They can order food, they can call the server, they can ask for bill, and on top of that, we can actually put rating. So let's give it a 5-star, post the rating, and let's say Ted's Smokehouse is the best. So we provided the feedback, so the customer provided the feedback. So actually, let's try to look at it. Here we go. Ted's Smokehouse is the best. It was written on Thursday, May 19, 13:30. And we can actually, if we go and view all the ratings and do all, it's also here. We gave it a 5-star right here. So there's that. And finally, we can come out of the admin page and log out like this, and we're back to where we started. And with this, I want to rest my case, and I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. Great presentation. Again, you can leave feedback for the Azuras on their Discord channel. The next team we're going to have up is Matt to Mike.
Hello. I'm going to start the presentation and have the other Matt pull up the screen. All right, so we created an app called Group Together. It's actually deployed to Heroku right now. Our motivations were that group projects can be kind of hard to organize all of your information and get due dates and things like that. So we wanted to create an app that would allow you to create a user, log in, make your project, and list out your tasks, what needed to be done, deliver it there, and then set due dates, and then apply it to the other people in your group, just to make things easier. Kind of like how you do your homework on Moodle was our real inspiration for it. So currently works for most things. The biggest hurdle currently is unfortunately we have to use Google Doc links to share the actual deliverable because MongoDB does not host files. But the way it works is, you log in, the server communicates with the database, and it actually builds the view page based off of the information it gets and the permissions that you give to each user. So I'm going to hand it over to Matt, who is actually going to walk through our app to show you how it works.
All right, hi, I'm the other Matt in the group. And so I know that we cleared our database. So we're going to go here, and I have 2 pages open because it uses cookies. So we're going to register an account. We're going to call it admin. Email admin at Gmail. Password. We're going to register. And then we can sign in. All right, so here we're on the basic projects page, and I'll just go ahead and make the other account right now. So just call it user. Oops, to register. Right. And we'll sign in with okay, so now we've got the projects page open. There's no projects. We're going to create a project, and we're going to call it final. The description is final project. And we create the project. So as you can see the project. And we also have the ability to create another project. So we'll call this one final part 2. And now it adds on to the carousel, so you can have multiple projects going on at the same time. And when you open a project, you can add users to the project if you made the project. So we can add a user. So we can add user, add user. So now, wait, it might just be the username. Okay. Matt, am I doing this wrong? I don't want to.
It is the email. I think you put the email in wrong.
Oop, yeah, you're right.
Just create a task. I'll go look at that.
I think I did user.com. Is that it? Wait.
Refresh the page.
Okay, there we go. So now, okay, we can also see some other things we were testing with before. So we had obviously used this one, but as you can see, it shows up with multiple projects. And if we go into the project, you can see that this is the same final project thing, but you can't add a user unless you made the project yourself. And then we can create tasks, and we'll set a due date. Say the due date is the 31st, and the description is post notes. Now there's a task on the project, and this user can go to the task, and we have a unique identifier, so you can that's auto-generated, that you can say this is due the 31st, and you need to remind this person to do it. They can just use this unique identifier. And then if you go to the task, and add the deliverable, it's because I didn't add the user to the task, which is another thing. So you can't actually do anything until the user is assigned to the task. So now that the user is assigned the task, they can insert the deliverable, which would basically be like a Google Docs. And if we go back to this project, we go into this project, we could also create another task. Say it's due tomorrow, and it's post final. If we go in here, also add the user, this user can look at this, and they can go in here and they can put the deliverable in here too. And to show that it's, you can have either person create a project. We could also have this person make a product, call it tester test. And now this person made the project. Let's see, which one was it? It was this one. Anyways, yeah, and then we also do have login and log out capabilities. So like I can log out, I could log back in. And yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add on, Matt?
Nope, that's it.
Right. Thank you for your time.
Excellent. Thank you so much for showing off your project. So that was Matt to Mike. So you can leave your feedback inside of their channel. And the next team we'll move on to is the Goal Diggers. Let's see. Do we have the Goal Diggers in queue? Perfect.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just well.
So hi everybody, we are Goal Diggers. Our team members include me and Aisha. So for our project, we made an application where user can create their favorite recipes, and they can also purchase some food products through our e-commerce website. So in order to access the application, they have to first register for an account. So right here, I already have one, so I will go ahead and log in. So this is our homepage. So the homepage is where you can store your recipe cards. So here I have two recipe cards that I created yesterday. Now we can create a new recipe. We can click on create recipe. So as you can see on the right is the template for you to create a recipe card. And on the left is a space for you to upload image or video for the recipe. But unfortunately, I did not have enough time to do it. So I'm just gonna pretend that it works. So I will go to some website and I found a very delicious recipe and I really want to save it. All I have to do is copy the name, paste it, and now it asks for ingredients. You can look for ingredients. Copy, paste, and enter instructions, which we have 3 steps. Paste. Cook time will be 4 to 5 minutes. I'm just gonna copy that. Paste. For category, you can choose, I would say this one, veggies. And after you have everything filled in, you can click save. And as you can see, the new card is added to the end of the list. So if you have a big list, you can search it up by name. So is it like rainbow or something? Here we go. And if you no longer want it, you just click remove. So now I will navigate to our shopping page. This is our shopping page. So I'll let my team member, Aisha, she will take over this part.
Okay, hi guys. This is the e-commerce part of our website. As you can see, we have our spices, our organic spices, guys, on shelves, and they have the cute little zoomy thing. And you can add any spices on a cart. So check if you can add, and you can notice that it's tallying them up and it's saving what you're adding. So if you click into the cart, it shows you the name, how much of the item you put, and the price, and then the whole total. And you can also delete it from your cart. There you go. And then if you check out, it brings you to payment details. So add in your card number, your name, and your CCV. And then your email, address, and zip. Choose the country you want it shipped to and the state. And then place your order. And then you get this little order confirmed, which is thanking you for the order. It tells you the business days, and it gives you like, what's it called? Like an ID number, an order ID. And then it flips, chuck flip it. And then it says continue shopping. And then you can go back to the shop. So yeah, that's our website. I hope you guys liked it. Yeah, thanks.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was Team Gold Diggers. You can leave feedback for them inside of their Discord channel. The next team we have up will be the Who Dat Kyla.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Share screen. Okay, oh God, that's not what I meant to show. Okay, so hello, my group project is Who Dat Kayla. Our project is a forum platform for introverts that want to connect with other people of the same interests. So let's start up the server. So everything is working on the backend side. Okay, so wait for that a little bit. Unfortunately, our login we couldn't figure out how to register works. So let's do, fake email, submit. This should be successful. Oh, what the heck? That's unfortunate. Anyways, okay, so well, it was working. Anyways, so once you register, it goes to here, and this is our form. So our announcements, Max already made one of the partners, and so this is what it would look like if you were to post something in here, just like a normal form. And see, introductions, it'd be the same thing. You could add something if you would like. Contact page, just like how we did in the lab. This is us, Max, Dat, and Kayla. Our name, Who Dat Kayla. I hope you got, y'all get it. So this is in the very early stages. Once you register for this, it's supposed to go here, redirect. And so we want to fix the login page, the register page. I thought I got the register working, but that's okay. We want to be able to have like more admin control, like to create more categories if other people want to have more subjects to talk about. We could polish up, maybe make it a little prettier. Polish this up. But retrieving stuff from the, oh, my internet is unstable. Did y'all hear any of that? Hello.
You're
We
good.
heard you.
Wait,
You're
okay,
good.
I'm sorry. I apologize. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was Team Who Dat Kyla. You can leave feedback for them inside of their team channel. The next team that we have up is going to be Bang Falls.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you just fine.
Awesome. Here we go. Can y'all see? Can y'all see the
Yes,
website?
I can see your screen.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So my group, with Luis and Pablo and we made a web application. We wanted to like local or new restaurants to have a nice looking website that could handle reservations. And we just made up a restaurant. So it's La Ratatouille. So we have our little nav bar here, so you could learn some information about the restaurant. So there's a about section. And then down here, it talks about the services of said restaurant. And then as you go through it, there will be a menu, and then you could click here and it'll display all our menu items and our drinks. And if you refresh it, it'll show new drinks that we have. We also have a dark mode. So it'll help you see all these a little easier. So we go back to the home page. We also have a gallery that will display all nice pictures of the restaurant and the food, some happy gatherings. And then if you scroll down, we have a contact page. So if you click that, you can fill it out, email, friendly message, submit, and then the restaurant owners can access these messages on Google Forms. It's all right here. If we go back, we also have the reservation, but I want to show off this real quick. We have a little map that displays the location of our restaurant. We just use the address of the Jackson Square. And we made a French restaurant, if y'all couldn't tell. So there's French on here. Forgot to mention that. So yeah, there is the location of said restaurant and some information below, like the hours, the address. And right here, since we made up a restaurant, these links don't work to their Facebook, Instagram, but it will if there's a real restaurant, of course. And then if we click here on the reservation page, we click this button, you're sent here, and we can choose what date. So let's say Friday night at 8 p.m, party size, let's say 3, continue. You'll be sent to this table agent, and you can fill out your information, make a reservation, and you should receive an email about your reservation. And since I'm the owner of this restaurant, I could access the dashboard. And let's see, if I go to Friday and at 8 p.m, we have a reservation for 3 people. And that's pretty much it. Our website is also responsive for like smaller screens, like mobile devices. I hope y'all can see it in a smaller size, I think. And yeah, that is all for our website application.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was a bang operator false So you can go into their Discord channel to leave whatever feedback you have for them. And then the next team that we're going to move on to is Granikins.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? I guess so.
I can hear you just fine.
All right. So I
can
made.
see your screen too.
All right. So I made a finance app, and the idea of this is to, well, be useful for personal finance. It helps you keep track of your transactions, and it helps you visualize like where your money's going and how much you're spending and stuff. So when, if you first log in, this is a screen that you'd expect to be greeted by. We have our upcoming transactions, recent transactions, and then here is a list of all of our transactions that we've ever made ever. We can come over here to add one. I'll add food. And here I can choose a date, but by default, it'll just do whatever the current time is. Yeah, and then it'll add here. So, and this works for upcoming too. So I do $50, I do that. That shows our, yeah, another upcoming transaction that we've got. And then we've also got budgets. So the idea behind this is just to, set like a limit to yourself. So if you're spending too much money in a certain category, you're like, oh, I need to watch that. I need to pay attention to that. Right now I've got an entertainment budget. And if I add something, oops, to the entertainment, right now, it will display there. And then, you can add like a new budget here and it'll show up like that. And whenever you make a transact or input a transaction, it'll apply to the budget and you can come to the screen and more usefully like visualize that. And we go back to the home screen, you can go to each one of these. The idea here is you could delete and edit, although that's not, currently implemented. And then I would also like to add like notes and, like a company where you purchase the product or service from. So then users can like more easily like remember what transaction that, that particular transaction was. And I can delete this one and it goes away. And yeah, you can also go here, although this is another idea. The idea is to reduce like the entire list of transactions. And if you want to actually view all of them, you can go here and filter them. But this unfortunately also does not work. This is a work in progress type thing. And yeah, and then you can log out and that's my app. So.
Excellent. A fantastic presentation. And you did all of your data visualizations, if I recall, in Plotly?
Yeah, I use Plotly.
Excellent. That's a good library for data visualizations. So you can leave any comments you have about the finance app inside of Granikins. The next team we will move on to is Latitudes.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Loved everyone's presentation so far. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so Latitudes we're comprised of myself, Alex, John Popich, and Asaid. We created Endgame Maps. So what is it? Well, the name comes from basically wherein a player has essentially almost finished the game at this point and they're just looking for things to do. So this website tries to catalog that a bit. So it takes, users can place pins on a open source map that's generated from Leaflet. Basically the pins they're categorized into a few different things where it falls into sort of these categories. This is for the demo for the minimal viable product, so it was under review a bit for what we could do there. But anyway, so front-end design, it's mostly, all of it is pretty much EJS except for the Leaflet, which is used for the map generation. Back end, we use Express, server renders EJS, and then it interfaces with Mongo for the pins and all the user data. As of now, though, the time got the better of us. I wasn't able to implement the users just yet, but I do have the working database, so the pins are all live and working from Mongo. So I'll just go ahead and show off what I have so far. So we get to the web page, it loads up to the home page, gives a little info. Some working buttons right now, but they're stubbed at the moment. Click guest and it brings up to the map. So the yellow pin, that's us. So basically now once we're here, the main goal of this is to, so like you're bored, open the map, maybe click find, and this would, so this is also stubbed for the moment, but it would pull up a pin near you, zoom to it on the map. So for instance, I have this one here, which is the Tree of Life. It's niche, you could call it, and it's basically some extra comments about what it is. And right now it's stubbed, but I planned on having a go-to button so that it could easily route you from your location to wherever you were planning on going. So let's see. Yeah, like some trails, for instance. I have a test pin here. And then if we want to create one, let's say, I don't know, the Bayou. My first encounter there. There's some success, awesome. Oh, and there it is on the map. Now we could look at it. But so that's the working implementation we have so far. Some planned features that we did have though that didn't make it. The pin visibility. So that would be kind of a big feature that I would think, where essentially we would divide the users between locals for an area. So like, let's say you're in X radius of New Orleans, well, you can have visibility for like New Orleans locals pins. And whenever you're creating a pin, you would be able to then choose who can see it. So locals or everyone. And then on top of that, you could have a friends list. So you could visibly see which pins your friends are dropping and see what cool things they're finding around the town. Then some quality of life improvements. Yeah, we have the go-to and then the get my location if it'll create in case you were to actually just open up the web app and you wanted to drop a pin where you were and go look at it another time. But that's essentially where we're at with this right now. Plan on having the account stuff worked out before release, of course. But that's it. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for the presentation. That was Team Latitudes. You can go ahead and leave feedback for them inside of their team channel in Discord. And to the last team we have for our presentations before we move on to, I guess, our follow-up discussions and some of our viewpoints will be Prog 7. Let's see, do we have Prog 7 on? Perfect.
Hey everyone, my name is Viet, and from my web app, I've made a blogging website, and this website allows you to make blog posts for anyone to read. And I'm currently on the home page, and this page shows all the blog posts, and I currently don't have any blog posts at the moment, so we'll go ahead and create some blog posts. And to begin with, we'll have to log in first to make a blog post. Oh, looks like I'm already logged in, so I'm gonna log out first. And I'll log in. I'll make a account first. Okay, so, and now I should be able to make a blog post. And to make a blog post, I'll have to enter these fields in. First, I'll find an image, paste it in, equal title, cool subtitle, and for the body text, I'll add in some filler text. And after I click post, it should take me to the blog post. And I have the blog post here, and it takes the picture and puts it right here. And for this part, I calculated the time read is dependent on how many words are in the blog post. And I could go home and the blog post shows up on the home page too, and you could click on it. And you could also edit, delete, and delete it. You could also change the image. Okay. And there. And I could just duplicate the blog posts to fill up the home page. Post. Now I have 6 blog posts, and I could delete one. So delete this one. Delete that. And it's deleted. Yeah. And some obstacles I faced was I wasn't too familiar with MongoDB, so I used SQL. Yeah, and that's a blocking application.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was Team Prog 7. You can leave your feedback about their blogging platform there. And so that is our presentation. So I'd like over there, like follow-up comments and feedback are. We have, I think, some several special guests. Like we have Dr. Samuel here, who's been looking at your projects and has been providing feedback. We have Daryl, we have Nolan, we have, I believe, Manuel, who have all worked professionally and they're in industry. So I would invite any of them to go ahead and provide whatever feedback they have for today's presentations.
I'm happy to go first. Hi, everyone. Dr. Samuel here. Just want to say how unbelievably impressed I am by all of your guys' work. I know, you know, how hard it is to create all of these things, like, and the fact that every single one of your presentations, like what was, you know, indeed full stack that had both front end and back end, and neither is just afterthoughts, but is these really like well thought out, well designed experiences is really, really impressive. I did my best to, you know, give more, directed feedback in the Discord channel for each of your teams, so you can look at that. But really impressed, and I guess semi plug, I guess. In the fall, I teach the mobile app development class, and I think that for those of you who maybe have taken that already, you can confirm that it's like there's like enough overlap between this class that it feels like you're leveraging your knowledge, and it's not just like, oh, I learned this class in a vacuum and then it kind of like doesn't get used again. Like you'll be able to, brush it off really quickly and apply it, but also it's like a totally different class. And so you'll be learning a lot of like new additional information as well. So for any of you who really enjoyed this class and are interested in producing more user-facing experiences that also have technical backends to implement, consider taking mobile apps in the fall. Again, great work, everyone, and thank you for sharing it with me.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend everyone who took this class to take the mobile apps class. I think that would just kind of complete the experience in totality between two classes.
Yeah, hey everybody, this is Manuel.
Super impressed with what everyone was doing.
Sorry, Dad.
No.
No, I just wanted to say hi. I didn't give any criticisms or anything in Discord. I didn't really know quite the scope of the projects, but I was impressed with everybody's that I got to see. So I think you guys had a great teacher to lead you through this, but you just know that the work that you guys are doing is definitely applicable from the industry standpoint. So for those that didn't complete your project, definitely you take the time to see it through just for your own personal gain.
Excellent. So thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, the entire purpose of this class is to try to give you something that was an industry-like experience and that would be a crowning jewel in your portfolio piece. So it's all the more reason that even if it's not complete now, and if grading, even though grading will already be done and you can still be working on the project, it's worth finishing it up as your portfolio piece. Excellent. Well, is there any other comments that anyone else wants to share before? This is the last time we're going to meet in this capacity. After today's meeting, it's over. This experience will be done and behind us.
Yes.
So I will leave this time for final comments.
So I wanted to make comments about what, like, all the projects were really great. There was one that really stuck out, the Asuras. Y'all did really good. Like, y'all got a really great range of breadth and depth in your project. Like each I'm sure it took a lot of time, but there was a lot of focus, and at the same time it's a really good implementation. Like that really made me smile. It's a good project. It's pretty cool.
I want
Is there any other comment?
I want to thank Dr. Ted for such an amazing class. I really loved this experience.
Agreed, Amen.
I always enjoy teaching this class, and it's always fun to see everyone progress, because it's amazing to see how much growth happens over the course of just one semester. Many of you come in with no web dev experience at all and end with being able to build a full stack application. So each semester that I teach this, I'm always impressed with the results. Excellent. Well, if that is
I have a
all
question.
the comments, thank you for attending.
I was just wondering how many people like use one HTML file, like an index HTML file, and like if they or did multiple pages, because when we did ours, we had a lot of issues with re-rendering the screen and kind of like missed React. And like I remember in like React Native and mobile apps, it would do the re-rendering for us, and we definitely missed that feature with React and us having to deal with re-rendering ourselves. So I was just wondering how many people did that.
Looks like based on what the comments are saying, it was split. Some used multiple, some used EJS to render, some students used React to render, some students just rendered on their own. I think some used Vue. JS to render. So I mean, the choice of technology on the front end, it looks like, was diverse amongst the student groups.
Cool. Okay, thank you. I was just really interested to learn about that. So thanks. And good job, guys. Everybody, I was really impressed.
And that's actually, if that's something you're interested in, that should be something that you can query each group inside of their Discord channel. Like, if you don't have to just leave feedback, but you can ask questions about what their tech stack was and get feedback on how they implemented it inside of each of those channels as well. So that's a good good point to kind of highlight there. And in terms of what you can ask each team. So it doesn't just have to be comments of what you saw, but it could be questions about how they did it. Excellent. So I will move the remainder of our time into the Discord channel, where we can go ahead and leave our feedback. And when this recording becomes available, I'll post it inside of the general talk. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.